Hello everyone. You had a little break. But you know what? There's still time to go wild. Another Time to Go Wild Radio podcast available on YouTube, Podbean, also picked up by Amazon Podcasts and registered as a podcast on YouTube. If you want to contact us throughout the weeks, it's Facebook or Twitter.com/TTGW Radio or X.com/TTGW Radio. You can email ttgwradio@outlook.com and you can text 07849 767755. We've had a busy weekend of things, especially up on it Ice Widnes. Stay with us and you'll find out why. Hello and welcome to another Time to Go Wild Radio podcast. I hope you've been enjoying your hockey over the last couple of weeks. It's been fast and furious, and this weekend at Planet Ice Widnes was no exception. 2 home games, one for the YKK Widnes Wild and one for the Widnes Wild women. And both games had plenty of excitement. I can definitely vouch for that. We've got our usual little roundup of any little bits of news, and of course, our usual opening bit, the scores. So we may as well get into the scores now, and then we can get on with the other little bits and bobs. Going back to Wednesday the 22nd of January with Elite League results. Guildford Flames 2, the Belfast Giants 5. On Friday, Nottingham Panthers 7, Guildford Flames 4. On Saturday, Sheffield Steelers 4, Manchester Storm 2. Dundee Stars 6, Glasgow Clan 2. Belfast Giants 3, Coventry Blaze 2 after a shootout. On Sunday, Manchester Storm 0, Nottingham Panthers 4, Coventry Blaze 3, Dundee Stars 2 after overtime. Guildford Flames 6, Sheffield Steelers 2, Cardiff Devils 1, Belfast Giants 4. Moving to National League action now from Friday 24th of January. Berkshire Bees 5, Bristol Pitbulls 4 after overtime. On Saturday, Leeds Knights 6, Peterborough Phantoms 4, Milton Keynes Lightning 7, Romford Raiders 3, Solway Sharks 4, Berkshire Bees 1, Swindon Wildcats 5, Hull Seahawks 6 after a shootout. On Sunday, Bristol Pitbulls 2, Milton Keynes Lightning 6, Hull Seahawks 6, Solway Sharks 1, Peterborough Phantoms 4, Leeds Knights 3, Romford Raiders 6, Telford Tigers 4, Sheffield Steel Dogs 1, Swindon Wildcats 4. Moving down to Division 1 North Morley. On Saturday, Sheffield Scimitars 2, Whitley Warriors 4, Solihull Barons 4, Hull Jets 3 after overtime. Widnes Wild 2, Blackburn Hawks 6. On Sunday, Billingham Stars 9, Sheffield Scimitars 1. Blackburn Hawks 6, Leeds Lights North 1, 3. Nottingham Lions 10, Deeside Dragons 5. And Whitley Warriors 5, Solihull Barons 9. Division 2 North Laidler for all Saturday. Altrincham Aces 8, Bradford Bulldogs 4. Kingston Sharks 3, Billingham Buccaneers 5. Sutton Sting 4, Telford Tigers North 2, 6. And on Sunday, Bradford Bulldogs 4, Kingston Sharks 5. Sheffield Titans 4, Billingham Buccaneers 3 after overtime. And Telford Tigers North 2, 11, Deeside Ducks 2. And one result from the WNIHL Division 2 North from Sunday. Widnes Wild Women 5, Telford Wrekin Raiders 4. Hopefully we'll have more for you on the next Time to Go Wild podcast. Well, some interesting results there over the last weekend. Some big results, some shock results as well. A big result for Nottingham Lions beating the Deeside Dragons by 10 goals to 5, considering recently the Widnes Wild beat the Nottingham Lions. So, anything can happen. Anyone can beat anyone. Deeside flying much higher up the league than Nottingham at the moment. Billingham continuing their run with a 9-1 hammering of the Sheffield Scimitars. Solihull Barons having a big run. Hull Jet short benched in particular on Saturday. Solihull managing to get the overtime win. And then a 9-5 win in Whitley Bay against the Whitley Warriors on Sunday. So it's very, very strange results at times are coming through. In the Elite League, Coventry having 2 games back-to-back one going to a shootout against Belfast, losing by 3 goals to 2, and then going into overtime and beating the Dundee Stars by 3 goals to 2 at home. Guildford having a bit of mixed fortunes, losing at home on Wednesday to Belfast by 5 goals to 2, then losing on Friday to the Nottingham Panthers by 7 goals to 4 in Nottingham, but then beating the Sheffield Steelers by 6 goals to 2. And Guildford this year, again, further down the table than they were last year. Important win for the Berkshire Bees in the National League, picking up an overtime win against the Bristol Pit Bulls. And, Berkshire Bees have been struggling at the bottom of that league, so, every point is important. I'm going to actually go to the Widnes Wild game against the Blackburn Hawks now, because that game, in many ways, was a bit tighter than a lot of people thought. I mean, the scoring opened at 10 minutes and 39 seconds with Adam Barnes from Jacob Lutwich and Andy McKinney. That was it for that period. It was 1-0. So it was like, it's a tight one. Second period, 26-28, Adam Barnes from Lee Pollitt and James Riddock. And then at 30-17, Adam Barnes getting his natural hat-trick from Andy McKinney and Matty Cross. Then 34-12, Peter Valuziak from Luke Watson. So it was a 3-0 period. So at the end of that break, it was 4-0 to Blackburn. So then we go into the third period, and Jacob Lutwich from Adam Barnes and Andy McKinney at 46-41 on the power play. But we weren't done. No, we were not done. The Wild were digging in, and Bez Hughes took a slashing penalty at 53-06. So we're short. Lo and behold, returning player Danny Hyde from Joe Howie, short-handed at 54-38, Wilder on the board and the shutout's gone. And it had been noisy. It had been noisy. Blackburn fans had brought a good following. The Wild fans were getting noisy. The ding-dong was going on. Well, that lit the blue touch paper for the Wild fans. They got even noisier. So did the Blackburn fans. Nobody predicted what happened next. Bez Hughes' penalty expired at 55-06. 10 seconds later, after him coming straight back onto the ice, he goes and puts in a goal, supported by Matty Barlow. So it's now 2 goals to 5. The place is in uproar. Everyone's like, what's going on? The Wild were really, really digging in. Unfortunately, Blackburn really upped the ante, and at 55-25, so no sooner finished announcing the short-handed goal than Wild score again. I'd no sooner finished announcing the second goal for the Wild, and Blackburn went and put the 6th goal in. Adam Barnes from Andy McKinney. I mean, the stats on that, Adam Barnes got 4, Andy McKinney on 4, 4 plus 1, Andy McKinney on 4 assists, Jacob Lutwich on 1 plus 1, Matty Cross on an assist, Luke Watson on an assist, James Riddick on an assist, Peter Valuziak on a goal, and Lee Pollitt on an assist. I mean, damage, you can see where the damage was done. Adam Barnes and Andy McKinney's partnering did most of the damage there for Blackburn, and it's hardly a surprise knowing the quality of the two players. And Wild welcomed back to the fold Danny Hyde, and also the return of Flynn Massey. And it's like you could see the extra intensity, so it was a really big welcome back to those two guys, and it did make a difference. Both goaltenders had a busy time of things. Harry Campbell faced 54 shots and Ben Keddy 36. So it wasn't for lack of trying to score. It was just that poor Harry Campbell got a little bit more peppered. I mean, 54 shots is a lot of shots to face. Penalty minutes? It was actually a very, very well-tempered game, to be honest. 4 minutes to Blackburn in the first, 4 in the second. Wild suffered penalty problems in the third, amassing 8 penalty minutes. So it was a total of 8 minutes each. But ironically, of the power plays, Blackburn were 1 for 4 on the power play. And we scored, and that was the 46, so that would have been... Oh yes, it was a 5-on-4 power play at the time, because we had... Thomas Rostek was in for an interference call, and then shortly after, Harry Campbell was called for a slash. So it was a 5-on-4 power play, just. And it was second, well, yeah, it wasn't too long into the power play. But 5-on-3, it's always a tough to defend. But from a Wild fan's perspective, it was a tough loss, but a fabulous performance. The crowd were behind the team. Blackburn, you can see why they're flying so high. You can see why they're pushing for the cup, and they're going to be pushing for the playoffs. So it's going to be hard for the Wild to keep climbing up the league, but you can see everything's there. Blackburn, you can see where the quality is, and they're going to keep going. After that game, I did actually have a chat with a few people, and then I managed to sort of corner as alternate captain Jonathan Williamson, and we had a nice little chat, and this is what he had to say.
End-to-end stuff at Planet Ice Widnes on a Saturday night for a change. YKK Widnes Wild taking on the Blackburn Hawks. A closer affair in the end, 6-2 deficit, but 2 quality goals, really short succession in the third period, blew the shutout. And gave everyone a little bit of extra excitement. I've been joined by Jonathan Williamson. Well, Jono, put that into words as a performance.
You know what? Really good hustle from the boys. We competed well. Obviously, they've got a really strong offense on Blackburn's lineup, and we skated with them. They got a few bounces their way, a few more bounces our way. We could have had a few more goals. So happy with, obviously not happy with the result, but happy with the performance.
The noise in here tonight was fantastic. Blackburn brought a load of fans with them, brought the extra noise. Widnes were extra noisy. That must have helped.
Oh, yeah, you raise your game for the fans, and when everyone's loud and everyone's getting into it, you're getting more into it, and it just makes a good atmosphere for everybody. And that's what we want as well, to make everyone have a good night.
I mean, we've had a couple of closer games and some big games the other week in Nottingham, playing on the big pad 1, where the Nottingham Panthers usually play. Important game, that, and an important result.
Yeah, and having Massey and Hyde in the lineup now, they're really good signings. That's really strengthened our depth in the offense. And you can tell since they've joined, like, our performances are getting better and better. And again, we just want to pick up more points coming into 2025, get a good playoff spot and keep our season rolling. Because we're on even though we've only got the 1 win from Nottingham, where the performance against Solihull performance tonight, it's all looking a bit more positive now, which is good.
I mean, earlier on before Christmas, we had a bit of a surprise swingometer game against Whitley as well. I mean, everyone was like, hang on, what's going on here? And again, the game against Solihull the other week, that was a swingometer game. You know, one scores, other scores, and it just shows how far the team's come.
Yeah, and again, that's ice hockey. Like, it's a game of inches, like a few bounces their way, a few bounces our way. That makes all the difference. It's fine margins, and sometimes you come off with them, and sometimes they go against them, and that's just hockey.
I think one of the goals tonight, the first one, I'm pretty sure Harry Campbell would have wanted that one back. It just kind of fell and then just trickled in behind him. It, from the angle we could see anyway, it was like, you could really see every save had been going his way, and then that one just snuck past him.
Yeah, he's the kind of keeper who'd want them all back, to be fair, but he's stood on his head every time he's played for us. He's a fantastic young talent, and we're really lucky to have him with us this season.
I mean, yeah, he is only young, and when you see him in the net, it's like you think he's a seasoned professional goalie in many ways.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, I think any team in our league would take him. Like, he's fantastic, and his attitude in the change room's amazing. He's just a good lad.
I mean, we don't want to keep him, of course, but I mean, next week it's Hull Jets, a team that's had a good start, but a bit of a slide. But you never know with Hull. There's always been a good rivalry between Widnes and Hull, sort of the M62 rivalry. That could go either way, couldn't it?
Oh yeah, we can pick up points against anyone, and Hull Jits, they've got some great players, but we've got some great players now, and we can compete with them, and hope the bounces go our way.
Well, it's getting late on a Saturday, and everyone's feeling it now. I'll let you get on. Thanks for joining me, and we'll catch up soon.
Thank you very much. I'll go to the pub.
Thanks, Jono. As always, it's great to have a nice little chat about things, and you can hear in his voice just how good things are feeling within the team. You can see and feel the energy back on the bench. So, anything can happen, and we all know within ice hockey, anything can happen. So, that was that for Saturday. But on Sunday, myself was back at Planet Ice Widnes, because the Widnes Wild Women were in action against the Telford Wrekin Raiders. And, well, to say it was ding-dong is an understatement. Yeah, it had us on our toes. The scoring went like this. On the power play at 6 minutes and 17, Michelle Madziak from Jade Poxon. End of the first, it was 1-0 to Telford. So we then went through into the second period. 23-14, Linda Decker on a delayed penalty chance popped one in for the Wild Women. It's 1-1. 25-46, Heather Metcalf from Anne McLean and Cara Gledhill made it 1-2. So it's now 2-1 in favour of Telford. Alright. Then, at 28-31, Lee Gillen pops one in for the Wild Women. So it's 2-2. So, we're not done yet. 35-36, Michelle Madziak again for Telford pops one in. So it's 2-3 at the end of the second period. Okay, this swingometer's going here. Third period commences. And at 44-57, we get a goal for the Telford Wrekin Raiders. It's Jade Poxon from, I'm having to double check here, Michelle Madziak and Hayley Batsford Carrington. So it's 4-2 now in favour of Telford. Okay, we're on the back foot now, we're chasing this. 46-19, Ellen Tyra from Abby Aldred. It's now 4-3. Wild on the power play at 51-40, Linda Decker makes it 4-4. So it went from 4-2 to 4-3 to 4-4. Telford didn't stop, it kept coming. But 55-59, Lise Gillen pops in her second goal of the game. It's now 5-4 to Widnes. But Telford did not stop. It was nip and tuck right to the final buzzer. But it did finish 5-4 in favour of the Widnes Wild Women. And we were all on our toes. Shots were coming in. There were bodies getting thrown in front of pucks. It's a bit more unusual at the women's game, especially at the slower pace of Division 2 North compared to, say, the elite level in the women's game. But there were bodies getting hurled in front of pucks, and body blocks and everything happening and goal mouth scuffles and it had everything. It did have plenty of excitement to keep everyone on their toes on Sunday night. The shots on goal, Alice Summerford in the Telford goal faced a total of 45, and Steph Drinkwater in the Widnes goal faced 39. So relatively even on the shots. And, when we'd all finally caught our breaths, had our pulse rates come down from it was a very exciting game, I managed to catch up with Katie Fairclough, and this is what we talked about.
Double whammy this weekend at Planet Ice Widnes. Saturday was the men, Sunday it's Ladies' Day. Widnes Wild Women were in action against the Telford Raiders in a bit of a heart stopper. 5-4 to the Wild Women, and I've got the MVP, Katie Fairclough, with me. Katie, how was that on the ice to play?
Stressful, I think, is probably the best way to say it. We left it till the very end, really to the very end, but everyone fought really hard, and then we came out with the win that we definitely deserved.
I think our first goal, Steph will want back. A couple of them, I think she'll want back. But Telford came out the blocks really strong.
Yeah, they always do. I think away we got scored on in the first 10 seconds. So to be honest, that was quite the improvement. We like to let them think they're going to win, give them that rope to play with, and then just smash them. So that's what we did again. But I think Steph will probably want that one back.
Well, it was a little bit of a heart stopper at the back end of that game. There were several moments where at both nets it was scrambles in front of the goal. Definitely in front of the Widnes goal at one point. There were bodies, not just one body, but several bodies being flung in front of pucks.
Yeah, sliding dive tackles is it's the new technique apparently, but we got the pucks out of there. I think everyone just wanted that puck out of the defensive zone, and to be honest, you can't fault them for that. But a lot of bodies.
Yeah, a lot of effort. I mean, it was a tough one. There was a lot of yelping coming from the timekeeping bench. I know we're supposed to stay neutral, but it's one of those things where everyone's just trying to will everyone to the end.
Yeah, we just tried to finish that game out as well. A bit stressful towards the end, but you put all your D-men on and you do what you have to do.
The season so far has been very different to last year. A lot more on the W column this year. And the side, although a few tweaks here and there, it's looking a lot stronger. People have just stepped up a bit more.
Yeah, I think we've worked out some bits with lines and sort of tightened everything up, and it's been good league this season. Games have been nice and close, which has been really fun, if not a little bit stressful. A couple of draws, but it's been a good season so far.
When they're close, it's one good thing is it keeps the impetus going. You don't let your heads drop because you're behind by a load of goals, and you don't get complacent because you're ahead by a load of goals. You've got to keep that intensity.
Yeah, and I think it sets up well for other games that are going to be a bit harder. We don't have that game the weekend before where we're maybe winning 10-0 and then we're going into a game thinking we'll play the same and not having that intensity there. So we're having to have the intensity every weekend, and I think it's paying off.
So yeah, it is good. It is good to see the girls starting to get the wins back in, and you can just feel the energy starting to come back into the team as well this year. It's a lot more energised. There's less heads dropping in games, which is great to see.
Yeah, I think everyone's there for each other this season, and we're all just having fun, and I think that's really making it the way we're winning great.
So I'm not sure when the next game is, but of course we'll be keeping tabs on how things go. And there's also a cup competition, but that's being used in a slightly different way for the team. I mean, some teams are using it as a full game, but the squad's quite big this year from what I can gather.
Yeah, so we've got more than the maximum bench strength, so what we're doing is we're playing those cup games as development games for those players that might not ice in normal league games, and it's been going really well so far. We've only had one game against Sheffield, but we got some of those players ice time that wouldn't usually, and it really paid off.
That's the key thing. You don't improve by sitting on the bench. You don't improve by riding the pine or not getting onto the bench. So for the development players, that is a key thing, and it keeps them engaged.
Game time is the best way to develop, I think, and that's what we're doing, and it's paying off.
Well, hopefully it's going to pay off in dividends as we get to the back end of the season, and we get closer and closer to the playoffs, and of course the league closing out, because sometimes you just need the extra bodies, don't you?
Yeah, and currently we're sat in a playoff position. We've got a couple of hard games ahead. We've not played Leeds yet at all, but we've got the bodies there, and I think we can stay in the position we're in.
Well, hopefully we'll be looking at some more to report on towards the back end of the season, and maybe even getting you over down to Sheffield for the playoffs as well. So I think it's watch this space.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Well, thanks for joining me, and we'll catch you soon.
Thank you, Colin.
Thanks, Katie. Again, always good to catch up with members of the teams to just get their thoughts and feelings and how they think things have been going. And as you can tell, that game wasn't for the faint-hearted in any way, shape or form. So, that's sort of some of the excitement out of Planet Ice Widnes this last weekend. Of course, I'll give you a little preview or just dates for your calendar in a few moments' time. Now, a couple of little items of news. Project Thunderstorm, helping youth hockey thrive in Milton Keynes. This is a good one. At the start of the season, MK Thunder and MK Storm Juniors launched a new collaborative project prioritising the development and talent of young players from the Milton Keynes and surrounding areas. So it is good news when the teams within an organisation and playing out of a rink all start to really push together and move forward as a combined entity. So yeah, it's great, and it's great to see players also given opportunities to play up. It says within 5 months of Project Thunderstorm's launch, an impressive 5 under-16s and 7 under-19s have trained and iced for the MK Thunder. So again, this is good for young player progression, who are getting chances to play at higher levels and push themselves. So that's great news coming out of Milton Keynes. We heard earlier in the week Nick Cross, due to work commitments, has stepped down as EIH chair. We of course thank Nick for his commitments and wish him well for the future. But then we have an addition. Nancy Squires has joined the board of directors. So a new addition to the board, new ideas hopefully coming through, and hopefully bring things to the benefit of EIH and of course all the leagues within the England ice hockey fold. Now, I'm just looking, of course, for an important fixture. Where is it? Here. Sometimes when you're looking for things, you can't find it. And then when you do find it, it disappears again on you. Well, so they're the main two little bits of news from England ice hockey. But of course, we have a big date for the diaries coming up. Now,
that's the sound of the police. That's the sound of the beast.
Some of the more recent players to go on the naughty step. And we start first with Ollie Endicott of the Leeds Knights. He's got a 1-game suspension for hitting the 10 penalty point threshold. Tim Wallace of the Milton Keynes Lightning has also been suspended for hitting the 10 penalty point threshold, so he's on 1 game. JJ Pitchley from the Streatham Redhawks got a 1-game suspension for unsportsmanlike conduct. Ben McClellan of the Widnes Wild got 3-game suspension for an illegal check to the head. The player skated in with momentum. Arms were raised up into the opponent's head, and that was the first point of contact. Tom Braley of the Hull Jets, 2-game suspension for hitting 10 penalty points, and a second 3-game suspension for hitting 15 penalty points. So Tom's got himself 5 games. Ollie Dennis of the Guildford Phoenix got a mandatory 1-game suspension for fighting in the last 5 minutes of the game. Luke Martin of the Haringey Huskies got a mandatory 1-game suspension for fighting in the last 5 minutes of a game. Paul Davis of the Telford Tigers North 2 got a mandatory 1-game suspension, again fighting in the last 5 minutes of a game. Luke Burden of the Billingham Buccaneers got 3-game suspension for fighting an unwilling opponent. The player was the instigator and failed to stop when the referees instructed, and he got a mandatory 1-game suspension for fighting in the last 5 minutes of a game, and another 3-game suspension for hitting the 15 penalty point threshold. So Luke Burden on a 7-game suspension. Ouch. Naughty, naughty, very naughty, as the other one goes.
That's the sound of the police. That's the sound of the beast.
But that's the way things go these days with hockey. It's very, very careful on some of the penalties. The big one being the likes of some of the big checks and trying to cut down on fights in the last 5 minutes of a game. I know tempers get very, very frayed, and it can be all kinds of things can happen. So, yeah, it's one of those things. You can just hear me typing because I am looking for an event. Here we go. Found it. But yeah, players need to keep their cool, but they also need to keep their passion. And that's what we want in hockey, of course, is the passion. So, what I've not done... Actually, no, I don't want that one. I want that one. Because we are going to do our little bit of a roundup on the tables, of course. I've not done that one. We'll start with the Elite League first. In 10th position at the moment in the league, it's the 5 Flyers, 30 games and 8 points. 9th position held by the Manchester Storm, 31 games and 21 points. And the Glasgow Clan in 8th, 30 games and 26 points. Dundee Stars 7th, 34 games, 27 points. And then a jump to 6th position, the Guildford Flames, 33 games and 37 points. Coventry Blaze just above them in 5th, 33 games and 39 points. And then the Sheffield Steelers in 4th position, 32 games and 42 points. A point above in 3rd, 43 points and 33 games. It's the Nottingham Panthers. Again, only a 1-point jump to 2nd position, Cardiff Devils, 31 games and 44 points. And then a big jump, well, big-ish jump, to the top spot. Belfast Giants currently top of that table, 33 games and 51 points. So, yeah. Manchester Storm and Glasgow Clan sort of in that point, well, and the Dundee Stars in a way, looks like in the fight for the 8th position to make the 8 teams that go into the main playoff competition. Is the gap too much for the Manchester Storm? Who knows? Anything can happen in hockey. You have a little bad run, anything can happen and all of a sudden you've slipped. So yeah, 21 points for Storm, 26 for Glasgow, 27 for Dundee. We'll have to just see how things go on that one. Moving to the National League. Berkshire Bees in 11th position after 37 games, it's 21 points. In 10th position, the Bristol Pitbulls, 28 points after 40 games. Telford Tigers just above them, 39 games and 29 points. And the Solway Sharks in 8th, 38 games, 34 points. Romford Raiders 7th, 38 games, 37 points, with the Sheffield Steel Dogs above them in 6th, 39 games and 44 points. 1 point above in 5th, the Peterborough Phantoms, 38 games and 45 points. Hull Seahawks in 4th, 38 games and 48 points. Then a jump to 3rd, Leeds Knights, 38 games and 57 points. Joint with them on 57 points, but in the 2nd position on the table after 39 games, it's the Swindon Wildcats. And currently topping the table on 58 points, it's the Milton Keynes Lightning after 38 games. But it is tight. 57, 57, 58 in the top 3. And in the max points in that league, Milton Keynes can still get a max of 90, Leeds 89, and Swindon 87. So anything can happen there at the top. It is a fight. It's probably going to go right down to the end. So it's not runaway winners at all in that table. Jumping down to Division 2 North Laidler now. In 10th position after 18 games with 5 points, it's the Deeside Ducks. In 9th position, the Sheffield Titans, 17 games and 10 points. 8th position, Nottingham Lions 2, with 19 games and 11 points. Jump up now to 7th position, Bradford Bulldogs, 20 games and 16 points. Kingston Sharks in 6th, 20 games, 23 points. Then a jump, 5th position, Altrincham Ace is 20 games and 32 points. And level on points with them in 32 points. But in 4th position after 17 games, it's the Coventry NIHL Blaze. 3rd position after 18 games and 39 points, it's the Billingham Buccaneers. 2nd position now, big jump again to the top 2. Telford Tigers North 2, 20 games, 57 points. And on the top of the table, still 21 games, it's the Sutton Sting with 60 points, but qualifies so far as I can tell from the table. Altrincham, 32 points. Coventry, 32 points. They've qualified now for the playoff competition from what I can tell. And then you've got the Billingham Buccaneers. They've qualified in 3rd place. 2nd place Telford, and top of the shop Sutton. But max points, the top 2 are on level maximum points. So this could go right down to the end of the season. Both teams have only lost, between Sutton and Telford, they've only lost 1 game each. And I suspect, if memory serves, it's against each other. So that is going to be nip and tuck right to the very end, I reckon. Keep your eye on Division 2. It could really be tight, but you've got 2 runaways at the top of that table at the moment. Moving up now to Division 1 North Morley. 10th position at the moment, the Sheffield Scimitars, 28 games and 12 points. Widnes Wild in 9th, 25 games and 14 points. Leeds Knights North 1 in 8th position, 24 games and 17 points. Nottingham Lions in 7th, 24 games and 29 points. Then we go to Whitley Warriors in 6th, 23 games, 34 points. Hull Jets in 5th, 26 games, 43 points. Deeside Dragons in 4th, 24 games, 45 points. Solihull Barons in 3rd, 25 games and 52 points. In 2nd, Blackburn Hawks, 25 games and 60 points. Top of the table still. And it's 26 games and 69 points for the Billingham Stars. According to the table, as far as we can tell so far with their points, Solihull, Blackburn and Billingham have qualified for the playoffs. But when you look at maximum points, it's basically the league we would probably predict saying it's Billingham's to lose. Because Blackburn's max points is 93, Billingham's is 99, but both of those teams are on a charge within the league. So, you know, it's 6 points max between them. There's 9 points plus Billingham have Blackburn have a game in hand. So it's 60 versus 69, but Blackburn have a game in hand with 25 games. So that's right, Blackburn 25, Billingham on 26 games. But one slip and the league this year having 3 points for a win, you never know. You never know. So don't count anything out there. At the bottom of the table, well, at the moment, the max points really is between the bottom 3. You've got 12 for Sheffield, 14 for Widnes, 17 for Leeds. Sheffield's max is 36, Widnes is 47, and Leeds is 53. Leeds have a game in hand on Widnes. Both Leeds and Widnes have games in hand on Sheffield. So it's all about picking up a point, just points and points here wherever you can get them for the teams at the bottom of the table to avoid the wooden spoon. Who will get it this year? Who can say? Who can say? Anything can happen there. So, after that one, I think we'll have this one. So we've had a little look at the tables, a couple of up-and-coming things now. And, of course, the big one being promoted 12th and 13th of April at the Bauer Arena in Ice, Sheffield, the NIHL Steel City Showdown. And the slight change of the format again for this year. It is going to be the Division 1 and 2 North and South finals. Every game is a final. So on the Saturday you have the Division 1 North playoff final. the Division 1 South playoff final, the Division 2 North playoff final, and the Division 2 South playoff final. And then on the Sunday, North 1 winners play North South 1 winners, and North 2 winners play South 2 winners. So it's final, and final. 6 finals over the 2 days. We hope as many of you are going to come down. Doesn't matter who your team is, come and pick a team. Come for the event, make it noisy. Make your team's presence known within the league. Make it the big party that it can be, and it should be, to celebrate the entire season from Division 1 and 2, both North and South this year. So that's the 12th and 13th of April at the Bauer Arena in Ice, Sheffield. Tickets are available now, so and they're not too badly priced, actually, if you look at it across all of the games. I must admit, the early bird tickets are on sale, so, get them sorted. Now, back to the normal stuff within our own league and our own team. Of course, if you want anything to do with the Widnes Wild, you can do via Facebook or Twitter or x.com/WidnesWild. You've got Instagram.com/WidnesWildOfficial, the TikTok page, which I think is @WidnesWildOfficial, and the YouTube page, which also hosts this, which is youtube.com/WidnesWild Ice Hockey Club. Of course, the team thank their sponsors. Title sponsor YKK. We have Fresco Environmental, Sigma, who sponsor the penalty box, Sigma Tech's looking after the timekeeper's bench, Cheshire Taxation, DMH Tires, Roger Truck Services, MPG Maintenance, Bright Spark Event Lighting, Northwest Mixers, Ready Mixed Concrete Providers, and Newton Construction, as well as our player sponsors. Unfortunately, the player sponsor list has disappeared off my list. But if I'm not mistaken, Charlie Henry has sponsors, Bez Hughes has sponsors, Flynn Massey, Harry Campbell, and I think it's Matty Barlow, all have player sponsors. I'm sorry if I can't find the list of the player sponsors to hand today. I do apologise. I will make sure they're added to my running list for next week properly. But of course, we thank you, and we thank all of you who come along to games. It's invaluable to make sure that the games go ahead and the teams are supported. And of course, just having you at the games, that's what's important, and that's what we want to be able to do each week, and make it loud and proud for the guys who go out there and play, and the girls, of course, and all the kids. Which brings me on nicely to some of our up and coming fixtures. This Saturday, the 1st of February. Yep, it's February on Saturday, guys. January's gone. We're into the short month. Right, Saturday 1st of February. Our under-19s are away in Leeds. But on Saturday at home, around about 4:15, we have our under-10s in cross-ice action. It's actually, I think it's Solway, Kilmarnock and Leeds, I think, are going to be represented. But it's 3 different teams to normal, and it'll be cross-ice action at Planet Ice Widnes from around about 4:15-ish. So come down if you're at a spare moment before the following game, and just see some of the real little ones. But they're not. They just keep going. They're mad, the under-10s. They just can't stop. So yeah, some crazy under-10s action, cross-ice, from around about 4:15 on Saturday. And then at 7 o'clock, the YKK Widnes Wild take on our friends and rivals from the other end of the M62. It's the Hull Jets. So Hull Jets will be facing your YKK Widnes Wild from 7 p.m. on Saturday, the 1st of February. On Sunday, I'm just checking here. So we've got our under-14s are in Manchester. Our under-12s are in Blackburn. Our under-18s are in Whitley Bay. Our Widnes Wild women are away in Sheffield in cup action. But we do have some home games. Well, a home game. Our Halton Huskies have a challenge game going on. 6 o'clock face-off at Planet Ice Widnes against the Bombers. So why not come down and see some of the other guys who play out of Planet Ice Widnes? It's the Halton Huskies this time. And if any of the previous Huskies games are anything to go by, it could be quite a good treat. So come down and give them some support. It's usually free to get in. So why not come down if you're at a spare moment on Sunday night from 6 o'clock. Halton Huskies against the Bombers at Planet Ice Widnes. Following weekend, Saturday the 8th of February, we have the YKK Widnes Wild away in Blackburn. Again, don't forget to check the fixtures online. These are the best I have to date. So we're in Blackburn from around about 6 o'clock on Saturday the 8th of February. But back at base, Planet Ice Widnes, from 20 past 4, our under 14s will be taking on the Solihull Juniors. And our under 18s from 6 o'clock, 5 past 6 thereabout, they will be taking on Nottingham. And then on Sunday, our under 10s are in action again, this time up the road in Blackburn. And then the top of the shop visitors, it's the Billingham Stars. 5:30 p.m. face-off on Sunday the 9th of February. And it's usually a good game regardless. But yeah, Billingham are visitors on the 9th. So we shall leave it there. Don't want to bombard you with too much. They're the latest up and coming fixtures. Well, I think that just about rounds everything off for this week. As you saw on the ice, or those of you who were able to be at the game, of course, we had the return of Flynn Massey and Danny Hyde. Danny managed to get on the scoreboard as well with a beautiful goal. Absolutely beautiful goal. And, yeah. What can we say? Fingers crossed things are looking good. We had the win the other week in Nottingham. And it was on the big pad. Yeah, it was on the big pad, the one the Nottingham Panthers play on, pad 1. So everyone says how good that pad is to play on. So looks like it worked out well for the YKK Widnes Wild. In the meantime, I'm going to close out for another week. I hope you've been enjoying your hockey wherever you've been getting it. And as usual, enjoy your hockey wherever you do get it. Be loud, be proud for your team, whichever team it is. And remember, hockey goes all the way through. There's under 10s hockey, 12s, 14s, 16s, 18s, 19s. There's women's hockey, girls under 16s. There's the Division 2, Division 1, National League and Elite League. There's such a widespread of hockey around this country for people to enjoy. You never know. You're taking a game, it can surprise you. From me for another week, take care. I'll catch you again soon. The Time to Go Wild podcast for another week. Ta-ra.